Hello, and thank you so much for joining us, everyone. I'm Eric Connors. You know, here at CBS 8, we're working for you. We're listening to your concerns, investigating your questions, and finding solutions that matter in our community. We begin with who is using your personal data. A new state tool is giving us an easier way to take back some control of our information. Right now, hundreds of data brokers are required to begin processing the deletion requests submitted through California's new DROP platform. Working for you, News 8's Alex Lai shows us how it works.
DROP is the first tool of its kind. It allows you to ask more than 600 data brokers to permanently delete your information with just one request. I'm working for you to look into how this even works and how you can do it too.
Right there.
It's called the Delete, Request, and Opt-out Platform, or DROP, and it aims to do exactly that.
Yeah, DROP is a one-stop shop to...
Tom Kemp with the California Privacy Protection Agency says after you submit some basic information, the system will contact data brokers on your behalf to delete your profile.
They take their data in their database, use the same algorithm to basically secure and hash their data, and they do a matching. And only if a match exists, then they say, okay, well, it looks to be this person, and I need to delete that record.
Working for you, I tried it myself. Starting at privacy.ca.gov, I clicked Get Started and verified I'm a California resident with my name, address, birthday, and contact. Then I created a profile, which allows you to choose how much data to share, and submitted my request. From there, you can track its status through the DROP portal.
Already, millions of Californians' records that these data brokers have already been deleted in the first 2 or 3 days.
Data brokers that meet California's registration requirements had to start processing requests August 1st. They have 45 days to delete matching records or face fines of $200 per day per request.
So if a data broker doesn't delete 200,000 Californians, the fines are $40 million a day.
Data brokers have been required to delete your information upon request for years. The difference is you have to contact each one individually.
You have to search for yourself, send them the page that is associated with your identity, and then they would remove it sometime later.
But cybersecurity expert Nicholas Behar says there's still a trade-off.
You have to trust the state with your data, and you have to trust that the state is going to do what they say with your data. So that's kind of the catch-22 here.
Cal Privacy says your information is stored in a secure encrypted format and is only used to match your request with data brokers so they can delete your records. You can find a link to DROP and step-by-step instructions at cbs8.com. Working for you, I'm Alex Lai for News 8.
And businesses in the North County are feeling the pain of a long-running construction project they say is impacting their bottom lines. The work here on 2.5-mile stretch of Coast Highway in Leucadia aims to make improvements for bicyclists and pedestrians. News 8's Steffi Roche is working for you to get answers about when this project will finally be finished.
The Leucadia business owners tell me that this current phase of the construction project started back in 2024. They say they were told that it would be completed in 2025, but clearly that's not what happened.
The initial groundbreaking of the Leucadia streetscape project started back in 2021. The current phase of the multi-year project, which started in 2024, stretches from Jupiter Street to La Costa Avenue.
On a daily basis, we watch near accidents right along here.
Jeff Shade, the owner of Leucadia Cyclery and board member of Leucadia 101 Main Street Association, tells me the construction has negatively impacted his business since it began, saying customers have trouble accessing his shop, along with concerns about safety.
Yesterday and today, they diverted traffic into the new asphalt lane, which is great, but they left this lane as a sort of local access lane. You're asking people to go slow and make a right-hand turn, a 90-degree turn to get into my business. There's no signage alerting people besides that little 8.5 by 11 black and white sign. So we're anticipating some serious traffic problems, if not some injuries.
While filming, we even saw one frustrated driver move a blockade and continue on. Mike Chop, an owner of Leucadian, tells me he believes the construction is deterring customers from visiting his bar.
Just from locals and friends, and even regular events that we used to have here have canceled or declined to come back for an extended period of time until the construction is finished because of parking issues or just problems trying to get into our own parking lot, to be honest.
I reached out to Mike James, the deputy city manager for the city of Encinitas. I learned the project's timeline was extended by about a year and a half after the Encinitas City Council approved additional drainage improvements, including a new storm drain to reduce flooding along the corridor. He tells me the city has heard concerns raised by the business community, and they want to get the project completed as soon as possible. James shared that starting this month, the city does have plans to start hosting monthly meetings with the business community to provide updates.
I would like us to work a little more hand in hand and help each other out as much as possible to promote businesses and let people know we're open, and whatever we can do to get parking back here would be a huge asset to us.
I also asked the deputy city manager when they expect this work to be completed, and he says they anticipate it will be completed, at least this current phase of the project, by the end of this year. For now, reporting from Leucadia, I'm Steffi Roche, working for you.
Water levels at some local reservoirs are looking a little lower than usual. I mean, look at this. Leaders with the city of San Diego tell us it's not because of the heat. News 8's Abby Black working for you, breaking down what it means for our water supply.
Although the water level here at Lake Miramar is at 3/4 capacity, it's lower than what it was 2 weeks ago. Working for you, we found that there is a multifaceted reason why this lake and others have seen water drops, and it's not just because of the heat. Aiden Chong and Matthew McAllister come to Lake Miramar often to fish for bass, but Aiden noticed the water's much lower than the last time he was here 2 weeks ago.
We were fishing on one of those docks the other time. I fell off the dock, but now there's nothing to fall on. It's just on the dirt.
As you look out, you can see where the water used to nearly touch the top of the reeds. Glenn Peterson noticed too.
Seems pretty low to me. Well, I was kind of startled to see this over here. I've never seen that dry patch that large, so I knew it was lower than I've seen it before.
The city's latest data shows that Miramar at 78% capacity as of July 20th. It's usually higher. Even the boat ramps are closed.
I don't have a clue as to why it's happening. I was hoping you had those answers.
Peterson isn't the only one asking. Working for you, we went to the city.
I think some people thought oh, the heat.
A city spokesperson tells us the drop at Miramar's for maintenance on their water treatment plant to support Pure Water Phase 1. They expect levels back to normal by next month. The city says that Miramar is a smaller reservoir whose main job is supporting that treatment plant, which is why its levels are normally more consistent. Working for you, we found that Miramar's not the only reservoir running low, but for San Diego's larger reservoirs, the city says it's a different reason. Reservoirs are managed first to protect drinking water, so levels rise and fall with demand. Rainfall and dam safety rules. Local sources now make up more than 30% of the city's supply, up from just 5% a few years ago.
It's this time of year. The demand has to be pretty high.
The lower levels also leave room to capture storm runoff if El Nino brings heavier rain this season.
But when you mentioned preparing for El Nino, that hit me like, oh yeah, it's coming.
The city says its priority is drinking water supply. Still, not everyone's upset about the lower levels.
Good for us fishing, but kind of gnarly for seeing it drop so much.
Bottom line, the city says this is how its water operations are supposed to work. We do have a good water supply. Now, while we should always conserve, we're not running out of water. Working for you in Scripps Ranch, Abby Black, News 8.
All right, still ahead here, dying trees across from SDSU raising fire concerns. We're digging into who's responsible and why homeowners say it's a real problem. And later on, working for kids, we speak with the handlers of an important therapy dog program. Welcome back here. County Vector Control once again conducting aerial larvicide drops to try and control our mosquito population. Their goal is to treat standing water in other areas prone to mosquito populations, killing them before they can grow into biting, disease-carrying adults. The county says 4 people have contracted West Nile virus since June. More drops are planned for later this month. In Del Cerro, people are speaking out with concerns about dozens of palm trees that are covered in dried out fronds. In some cases, the entire tree appears to be dead. That could fuel a wildfire. News 8's Steve Price working for you to find out who's responsible for keeping those trees trimmed.
dried palm fronds burning with dangerous intensity, shooting flames 30 to 40 feet in the air.
Losing your house is not fun. It's a scary time.
Jason Ross's home burned in the cedar fire, so you can understand his concern seeing this. Just north of I-8 across from San Diego State, dozens of palm trees that have clearly seen better days. All of them covered with dried out fronds. Some trees appear to be dead. His house is just up the hill from here.
We do have the state-sponsored fire insurance here, so as part of moving in, I did have to do a lot of maintenance around the house.
He had to prove to his insurance company that he has defensible space. So imagine his frustration that others aren't taking fire safety as seriously.
Definitely when you drive by and you see the palm trees and all of the dead foliage around them, it would be nice to see some maintenance being done on them to at least clear the dead debris.
So who is responsible for maintaining these trees? Working for you, we did some research and found out it's Caltrans.
Here's a look at their right-of-way map, now highlighted to show where the trees are.
And we've had a couple fires down there in the gully.
Phil White has lived on Adobe Falls Road for more than 25 years and has been evacuated several times. Most recently, 2 years ago, when another nearby canyon went up in flames.
Yeah, we've had to do it a couple times, and you just grab what you can and get out. And a couple times it was so bad there were firemen rushing around here, and yeah, we've been through it a few times.
We reached out to Caltrans, and they confirm after seeing an email we sent with pictures, they are aware of the issue. Despite being given more than 24 hours notice, they said they couldn't issue a statement on the situation by our news deadline, including if and when they plan to clear them out. We'll continue to follow up with them, and we'll post any updates we get on our website, cbs8.com. Working for you in Del Cerro, Steve Price, News 8.
A critical tool to help San Diego's youngest patients comes with 4 legs here. Coming up, we're going to introduce you to some of the people behind these canine companions. Welcome back here. Staff at Rady Children's Hospital, one step closer to the hospital's first in-house therapy dogs to work with young patients. CBS 8 is partnering with the hospital for its third Working for Kids Give-a-thon to help launch this program. News 8's Abby Black introduces us to the handlers who are anxiously waiting.
Meet Julia Perkins and Morgan Lee. Because of your donations, Rady Children's Hospital hired these child life specialists, now accepted into the Canine Companions program to handle a facility dog to treat pediatric patients. It's taken years to get here, but this is a critical tool to help kids heal.
Yeah. You can't wipe the smile off Rady Children's Hospital child life specialists Julie Perkins and Morgan Lee, waiting to be matched with a facility dog this fall.
I feel like it makes it feel so real. Having these moments gives us like those little glimmers of like what we're gonna see with the kids in the hospital, and it's so like refreshing and exciting.
Child life specialists already work to normalize a scary hospital stay. A facility dog makes that easier.
Like we come at it from like a non-scary approach, having the dog bring in the blood pressure cuff or something, how that makes it even more fun and less scary, and like, okay, well, if the dog's gonna bring me my blood pressure cuff, I'll do it.
Getting here has been a long process. CBS 8 has partnered with Rady Children's Hospital for the last 2 years on a Working for Kids Give-a-thon, raising money to start a resident canine program, dogs specifically trained for a hospital setting and built into a child's treatment plan. Last year, we helped raise enough money to bring in 2 dogs. Perkins is the primary handler, Lee the backup.
So the first dog will be placed with me. I work in hematology oncology. Our dog will be split between our inpatient and outpatient units. So getting to support kids in many different ways.
Rady Children's hired a 3rd handler, still going through the process, who will join the rehab team.
We're working with like our physical therapists, occupational therapists, and the medical team to kind of get these kids either ambulating or helping them get more comfortable with the wheelchair or crutches.
There's a reason this took 2 years to get here. While the dogs come at no cost, this isn't a pet adoption.
Good boy. Nice.
It's hiring for a critical role inside a children's hospital, and much of that time was the hospital building out the program from the inside, hiring, credentialing, getting every piece in place.
We've had to go through a whole process with Canine Companions as well to make sure that we're going to be great fits as a handler, and we have all of our necessary training and things needed to really utilize the dog as a tool.
But money to sustain the program is still needed. Salaries, maintenance, and vet care for the dogs, plus hiring more child life specialists to bring in more facility dogs.
So when kids trust us and they trust the team, it promotes compliance, and compliance gets them out of the hospital faster.
Once matched in the fall, Perkins and Lee will go through 2 weeks of training, learning dozens of commands and adapting them to each patient's needs.
You tug. Good girl.
Acorn is being trained as a service dog, but many of those commands translate to a facility dog. Lee and Perkins won't start training until fall, but they get to practice now.
Good girl.
On National Dog Day, that's Wednesday, August 26th, CBS 8 and Rady Children's Hospital will partner for the third Working for Kids Give-a-thon, and we hope you'll make us make an impact.
I can't wait for this to happen for our patients and families, and also for our hospital, because it's such a big step, and we are so grateful to have this opportunity and to have the support of the community and things behind us, because it wouldn't be possible.
Oh, thanks. Yes.
Working for Kids, Abby Black, CBS 8.
Very pregnant.
Lots of belly rubs there, right? Well, where are all of the starter homes in San Diego? Coming up, we are working for your wallet, digging into trends that have changed the local housing market. Welcome back here. You know, with students heading back to class, the city of San Diego is taking steps to keep kids safe. The city recently put up these signs, lowering speed limits to 15 miles per hour around Valencia Park Elementary School and Porter Elementary in Lincoln Park. The changes are part of the city's Vision Zero plan, which aims to eliminate traffic deaths by reducing speeds, improving driver behavior, and making school zones safer for the students and for the families. For many young San Diegans, owning a home feels like a fantasy. A new report from a nonprofit shows why starter homes have all but vanished and what could bring them back. News 8's Shannon Handy, working for your wallet with the details.
This report was developed by local nonprofit Casita Coalition. They say compared to a few decades ago, small starter homes young people can actually afford have virtually disappeared. Two big reasons for that: there are too many barriers and not enough incentives to build them.
In my neighborhood, I rarely see anything for less than $1 million.
At 22 years old, Marlon Macias has a goal shared by many young adults, buying her first home. The problem, she can't afford one.
A 10% down payment is $100,000. A 20% down payment is $200,000. Even if I saved $10,000 every year, it could take me 10 or 20 years just to save the down payment, while prices continue rising.
Macias spoke at a news conference unveiling a new report from California-based nonprofit Casita Coalition. The organization partnered with the Mercatus Center to identify barriers to building starter homes and recommend policies aimed at increasing supply.
We're in San Diego, where the median price home is $1 million. That is not a home a family starting on their wealth building journey can afford.
Casita Coalition CEO Norena Limon says finding ways to create more attainable housing has become our mission. The report highlights strategies that have worked in cities across the country, focusing on 3 key areas.
Build more homes per lot. We've got to bring down the cost of building the homes. And then there's also different innovative ways of ownership that aren't just you own one home and you own all the land underneath.
This poster highlights some examples.
Houston allowed homes on much smaller lots. That reform helped create more than 34,000 townhomes.
But Limon says one of the challenges builders are up against, one cost fits all.
A smaller home should cost less to build. but if it carries the same fees, parking requirements, and other fixed costs as much as a larger home, builders are pushed toward larger, more expensive homes.
The report suggests city leaders create policies that incentivize builders, noting San Diego has led the way. We were among the first to allow ADUs to be sold separately. The city also permits multiple units on some single-family lots, a policy that has drawn criticism from neighbors who say it has led to overdevelopment. But supporters argue those changes are part of a broader effort to help everyone achieve the American dream. To read the full report, visit CBS8.com. Shanna Handy, News 8.
And Father Joe's Villages is offering a new way for people to find good deals. It just opened a new thrift and auction house in southeastern San Diego. This is their 4th location. It brings the organization's thrift store, live auction house, and donation center all under one roof on 33rd Street near E Street. Father Joe says every dollar spent at its stores goes towards services to help those experiencing homelessness, including helping people find housing, medical care, food, and job training. They do some great work there at Father Joe Villages, don't they? That is going to do it for us. Remember, if there's something you'd like us to look into, just email us, workingforyou@cbs8.com. Thanks for being here. I'm Eric Connert.